Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Acer Team Story Cup Season 3. This is mYinsanity versus NewRoSoft. Score is currently 3-3 in the best of 9 between these two teams. But again, there's no in-game overlay score because it's a best of 1 between these two players. Both teams very close. 2 lives left apiece. We'll see who takes it in the end. Spawning the top right corner of the map for mYinsanity, the red Protoss player, mYinsanity's lag dust.
And in the top left corner, we have our Blue Zerg player representing NewRoSoft. It's going to be Roof.
Yo, so can you, Dami, Schlock, Scooter, whoever's in charge, like, get this banner set up for mYinsanity? Because it looks so sleek. Look at that text for NewRoSoft.
I don't know how to do that, though. Like, I don't know how we do that.
I think you just have to submit your sponsors to, like, Ryan Shutter. I'm pretty sure that's all you have to do.
Oh, cool. In
And
that
he,
case.
like, puts it all together.
Yeah, so a bit about Roof, because people may not know Roof. He's a little bit lesser known of the NewRoSoft guys, and he's a German player who actually took a pretty long break from StarCraft, only recently coming back, and he's done pretty reasonably for himself. He made Group Stage 3 at DreamHack Bucharest. He took out Verity 2-0, if I remember correctly, in Group Stage 2, and he's looking pretty solid, especially for somebody who's just recently come back from a break. I think he actually took a couple of games as well in one of these weeks. Let me check quick.
I really like the way he was scouting around real quick. I think he's going to take the natural at the gold, of course, but you know, we can joke around about Stardust and his cheese, talk about his macro all we want, but if we're going to be truthful, recently he's still been doing a lot of weird things like cannons from time to time. It's not at all out of his repertoire to do like proxy gates. And for Roof to take that extra step to check before going straight to the gold, I think was really intelligent.
Yeah. Stardust versus Life at DreamHack Bucharest on this map. Featured,
oh my god.
Like, cannons after cannons after cannons everywhere. So...
Well, not only that, but like Life's choice, like in DreamHack just in general, like the whole the gold, the further away gold rather than his own, things
both
like that.
Both golds?
Like,
you mean both golds?
Well, no, but I mean like starting off in a spot where Stardust is like, wait a minute, how come I can't cannon you? Where are your bases? And I'm kind of thinking like if he doesn't scout it, it's like, you know that stupid saying like, how can you kill that which is dead already? It's like, how can you cannon that which you cannot find?
Yeah, basically.
But no, we see him just kind of meandering around the probe. I don't think we're gonna see cannons or anything so cheeky. Didn't build a forge at home. Not exactly a no. Actually, I'll give it to him. Stardust might be cheesy, but he's not as cheesy as Nomi can be when it comes to Protoss in Europe.
Nomi has like, he doesn't have like normal cheeses though. Nomi has Nomi cheeses.
Right? Like it's like a gateway expand into a forge, into cannons, into double Oracle production.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The weirdest
that's
stuff.
The Nomi build. Or one of the Nomi builds. I want to point out the Roof went 3H4 pool here, so he's going to get a really solid economy going, already moving a lot of drones on over to that gold base, but Stardust as well, going gateway expand to the gold also. So both of these guys really going to have booming economies in the early game here.
Well, I think this is really not only important for Stardust to do, but intelligent as well, because he did scout that it was 3H4 pool, so he knew it'd be safe to take the gold rather than his own natural base. And if we're going to be quite honest, Zerg players, yeah, they get quite a bit of a boon mining from that gold, but I think Protoss can benefit from it just a little bit more. You know, the strength of Zealots versus this unupgraded, we kind of know how that fight goes.
Yeah. And, well, I'm really interested to see how Stardust decides to follow this up, because a very popular build for a while was to follow this up with an Immortal all-in that's obviously even more powerful because you have a gold base behind it. It kind of was figured out, though, and hasn't been as common lately, and it's going to be a Stargate out of Stardust.
The reason I'm checking like an idiot, of course, is like, you're referring to like the Immortal and like it's like a non-common thing to do. Like it's pretty much what every Protoss player does at some point in a game. It's like making probes. You're gonna go for Immortal Sentries at some point.
Yeah, basically. It's a pretty good composition of units.
Yeah, well, the strength of the course hits at a time. You can't exactly go 40-minute Immortal Sentries and hope to win. It rarely. I can't even.
No,
I don't think I've ever cast a game where that's been the case.
Stalker and hope to win.
Yeah. But with the Stargate coming up, I'm really curious what Stardust plans to do. I'm assuming Phoenix. I really like Phoenix. Big fan of Phoenix.
I thought Phoenix retired.
I'm the one with the bad jokes here, buddy. But oh, not even an Oracle, but going straight for the Void Ray?
That's kind of cool.
Oh, do you think he's going to Arthur it up?
What is Arthurring it up?
When you go for four Void Rays, Snape a base, and recall out?
Maybe?
Because I mean, that's the thing. Roof's not going to have a lot of anti-air in the early game, and because
I'm leaning more towards like Void Ray, like 7-gate all-in or something.
That could be really scary. That's like old school White Raw is what that is.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, taking the gold base is not a good way to play macro because it mines out really fast.
Yeah.
So I feel like it should be some kind of all in here, because it's just not that great in the long run to take the gold base early.
Well, the reason I'm thinking,
pros.
well, the reason I'm thinking this base snipe tactic maybe in Stardust repertoire, so to speak, is because we all know Spore Callers just don't handle Void Rays. But also this base is very exposed, is the problem too. Creep has been spread, but it's not even connected yet. However, the timing's not going to work. This one Void Ray is chased off, and again, like the Spore Caller is really a non-issue. Queen almost kills the Militia Core, actually. A bit scary there.
Yep. And we have a Robo coming up for Stardust, so...
Okay, so yeah, not going to go for the Void
Not
Ray.
going to go for, like, mass Void Ray. He's stopping at 2 for now, adding in a Twilight Council. Jeez, he's getting everything.
Well,
And Gateways.
the 2 Void Rays, honestly, are a really smart opener, if not for aggression, at least for defense. Because you know what's it going to be, like Roaches to come all in your natural base, Zergling Floods. I mean, Void Rays are fantastic against both.
Yeah. Now, we do have a little bit of pressure coming in here on this base. We have the Prismatic Alignment being launched off there. The Gas Geyser will go down. Any damage that's free is nice.
Yeah, it just loses shields at most, so not a big deal. Okay, so the Immortal Sentry follow-up to this, I don't know. Like, we talk about the timings.
It's not going to be an Immortal Sentry follow-up. Like, he's already got a Forge and a Twilight, and, like, everything else ever. It's not going to be an Immortal Sentry all-in.
Right.
I don't know what it's going to be, but I just know it's not going to be that.
Right, and I was going to talk about like how the reason it wouldn't be that either is because the timings have fallen off. You know your opponent's got a gold base, so it's not like they were struggling to get a lair up or struggling to get Hydralisks out. They'll be able to do both plentifully. So for Stardust to make a couple of Immortals right now, again, I think this is more to deal with the threat of Roaches than the actual all-in, because the timing for that is just expired at this point.
I want to point out this little creep highway. It's not covering the whole map. It's not like covering much at all, but it's covering one little area all the way to this gold base, which is going to be really great for these Hydras. He's not even forced to get Hydra speed right now. He's going straight for the Hydra range upgrade, Grooved Spines. And the Hydras could do a decent amount of damage here, partnered with the Queens. A lot of Zealots on the ground, though.
Yeah, and there's going to be force fields to help segment this off, too, if this gets a little too sticky. Stardust doesn't have to force a fight, but at the same time, Roof can't really engage one either.
Yeah. This is going to be kind of interesting to see how this plays out, because Roof has stopped droning at 67. He's just getting units right now, and just kind of rallying them forward. So, I mean,
the army supply is significantly heavier for Roof, which is scary for Stardust. But when it's Protoss and you got sentries, you're never fighting the full army at the same time. It's never that full force.
And the Zealots are not that scary now, but as soon as charge finishes, they will be. And some decent force fields coming on down there are going to allow Stardust to segment off enough of this army to fight.
I love the whole position. The whole position is so key to what's going on right now. Otherwise, he'd walk into a bunch of ranged units. You know,
really nice play.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of whole position behind force fields. A lot of times you see the sentries awkwardly trying to attack the Roaches, and then they die very quickly. But he kills enough of the army that all of a sudden it's an even army supply fight. Granted, Stardust is going down a lot faster, but Time Warps go down to lock this in place. The Queens don't have much transfuses left, if any. And the Immortals, well, they don't have bonus damage for Hydras. They still hit for like 20 a shot. The Void Rays attack really fast. A Warping of Zealots, here we go, with charge, will be able to deal with Hydras, especially off of creep. Even the cannon saying, hey, I want to help.
Cannon does help, actually. It picks off a lot of health from one of those Hydras.
Yeah,
doesn't do too much. Behind this, Stardust's waiting to engage this because he's just not that comfortable yet. But he does still have all three of these Void Rays alive, the two Immortals alive. The biggest heavy-hitting units are still here. He's going to get a couple of Archons in here as well, which I do like because that's going to add a little bit of splash in here and a lot of tankiness. Still a lot of units coming out of Roof.
Yeah, for Roof, I mean, it's not about even trying to make drones at this point or anything. You don't need any. You're 3 base with a gold. You don't need 80 drones, but yeah, just focusing on the larva towards army value. We see the Roaches dissipate very, very quickly. Will what's behind this, there'll be enough for the Hydralisk, and it's not looking so good for Stardust here. This is
not at all.
This is our star child, man. Like, you wouldn't expect him to be in this sort of desperate of a situation, but Roof has really put him on the ropes.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it before. Roof is a very good player. He's got some solid ZVP that allowed him to 2-0 Verity at DreamHack, and he's not to be underestimated. And he's slowly but surely being able to pick away at this army of Stardust. And while the big, heavy-hitting units are still alive, he's added in an extra Void Ray and Immortal. There's nothing to really tank for them now.
Roaches and Hydras are going to finally be able to deal with this base. Stardust hasn't quite fully minded out, but it's worth noting that Contaminate on the Robo is a huge deal. Not because he needs the Immortal to counter Roaches, but he just needs units. Stardust is just non-existent army supply. GG! And Roof will take it to the ace match.
Yeah, really well played there by Roof.
Now you mentioned before, of course, you got the double Stardust you can roll out. Are you guys gonna? You think you're gonna bring him back right away?
Gotta talk to him.
All right. Well, we'll see what he ends up doing, guys. We're gonna squeeze in a commercial.